What's up? I'm Ayla,
Hi, I'm Beth Ann.
and this is Let's Talk BL, a Boys Love podcast.
Today is Sunday, Series Sunday, the day of the week we talk all about one series and one series only, chock full of spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, turn away now or forever hold your peace because y'all, if you haven't seen this, are you even a BL fan?
Do you even watch BL? Or, okay, I don't know. If you haven't heard of this, at least, if you haven't seen clips from this on something.
Yeah. I feel like this is essential BL fan viewing. Like there's a handful of them that like if you call yourself a BL fan, like you have to have seen the show.
This is one of the first Thai BLs you made me watch.
Yes.
You like literally it was when you had locked me in your house.
Yeah.
And you were just like force feeding me BLs. This is one of them. There were four Thai BLs actually that you force fed me.
Yes.
And this was one of them.
Okay. This was my very first Thai BL that I ever watched.
Which says just so much. Just so much.
It says so much because this was the show that like got me into this life. Like this set the bar. Like I thought this
Which says so much.
Y'all, we're talking Why Are You?
Why Are You?
Excited.
And you know what? For our last series Sunday of the season, I think there's nothing more appropriate than to talk about Why Are You, because for this whole season, we've been talking about how I'm triggered by Why Are You. Like we've been talking about how I'm just like truly haunted by Why Are You, and now we're gonna talk about why.
I'm so excited. This series, okay, so I got into BLs via Why Are You, and I feel like just because it was like recommended on my YouTube, like that's how I found this. And which it has since been pulled off of YouTube, I believe, and is it has, I think. Or like not all of it's on YouTube. Like there's a whole
Scandalo?
No. Like there's a whole bunch of things going on, I think, because let's pour one out for Line TV.
I know, pour one out for the Lost Homies.
The announcement's been made that Line TV is no longer going to be with us at the end of the year. However, quite a few of their titles have already gone to YouTube and have already gone to Viki. So, and
True.
Fingers crossed that like some of them go to Gaga. Who knows? So it could be one of those licensing things. Is it AIS Play that's been kind of making its way through?
I think that's where most of the GMMTV stuff will end up, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, and internationally, it'll always be on
IQYI.
Yeah.
Is that right? Did I get the
IQIYI? Yeah.
IQIYI. They're getting a lot of stuff too.
Right. Yeah. So it was recommended to me there. I watched Why Are You? And then, of course, quickly watched Tharn Type because I think because SaintZee, you go for like the ships of all ships to ever ship that has been shipped.
Well, SaintZee has such an interesting story too. But before we get into all of this, Beth Ann, tell us about the details. Is it you or is it me? Do I tell the details? God, you wouldn't think we had a whole season of this under our belt. Jeez Louise.
We're just figuring this out. You do it. Go for it.
It's me. Okay, details. Before we get into everything else, let's talk about the details. It's kind of hilarious that I have to read the synopsis because I already know I'm going to be triggered. So this came out in 2020. Part of the reason we're talking about Line TV is it was available on Line TV. There are 13 episodes. We've got 4 main characters. Of course, we will start with Z, who plays Fighter. Saint plays Tutor. Jimmy plays Saifah. And Tommy plays Zahn.
And fun fact, the co-writer of this is Demundi co-founder Often, who also directed Why Destiny and is directing Cutie Pie.
When he's basically like Mr. Domundi.
Yes.
Right? Like any Domundi thing you want to do, like it's him. He's Mr. Domundi.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay, synopsis. Tutor is said to be wise beyond his age and acts rationally, while Fighter is the emotional kind. They started having some animosity with each other, but developed a close relationship right after. Saifah is a popular musician and is often engaged in acts of mischief, while Zahn, a sci-fi writer, is shy yet stubborn. Due to a bet made with his sister Zol, he starts writing sci-fi stories. But after being scolded by his parents for not studying properly, his writing is cut short. Later, when his friends tell him to steal ideas from his sister, he sees that his name is being used in her fiction, along with his enemy's Saifah.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so this synopsis
What's
is interesting because it's so much about Zahn and Saifah,
because
which
the whole story is about them,
right.
which is so confusing as like with the SaintZee of it all.
Because so this series was interesting, and maybe this is probably also why I got into this when I did, was because this was currently airing when I got into it.
Mhm.
And so COVID happened, and COVID cut this show short, which is
Yeah.
why we got the size on special.
Right.
So it was
Because they couldn't really film,
right.
and that's why like
Right.
all of the side stories got completely cut out, and they just like pretty much focused on SaintZee.
Right.
ZeeSaint, SaintZee,
Saint
SaintZee, ZeeSaint. I
actually
mean,
have
like
no idea.
canon, it's
Saint
fighter
Z.
tutor.
Yeah.
Canon is fighter tutor, but this
It's
is like a Chris
Saint
Singto
Z.
situation where it's Chris Singto, but
Right.
it's Kong Artit.
Yeah. Interesting. No,
Interesting.
Saint Z. I mean, like
SaintZee.
Saints first always. Like
SaintZee.
it's Saint is like
SaintZee. Right. Anyways. Can you tell
anyways.
I'm stalling so I don't have to talk about this?
So this show is interesting because you also get some like cartoon moments, because yes, it fits in with the whole theme of like maybe they're in this graphic novel
Are
about
they
this
in a
BL.
BL?
Yeah, like all
This
this kind of
like
stuff.
yeah, that is never, I will say that is a plot hole in this show, is it's never fully explained if they're in the BL or not, because like he has these moments where like he runs in, for example, to Mew Golf. He runs
Yeah.
into Tarn type.
Yep, at like the beginning.
Yeah, and this is when this like thing has happened and he feels like he's being mystically, because she like puts a curse on him,
Right.
and it's a whole thing. But really, if you
They
think
address it
about
in the
it,
special.
oh, do they? Because I don't
Yeah.
remember that. But if you think about it, she uses people from real life. So, like, potentially he's not running into the people in the BL. He's running into the real life people that she has
Right.
based these stories off of. I don't know.
It's
Very
like a
confusing.
lovely writer situation.
Ish. It's very
Kind of.
confusing. I
Anyway.
will say I love her. First of all, she's great.
She's cute.
She's so
Actually,
cute.
all the side characters that we like, the few side characters that we get are solid in this.
I love the friends. So I know everyone took away the SaintZee of it all. I walked away loving the friends. I love Poppy in this.
Yeah.
I love Nat in this. I love all of the
Has
friends.
so many. Yeah. Okay, so we start off this show with Tudor and Zahn are friends, which is kind of the tie-in to why you would even have like the
Why
fighter
you'd even
tutor
know
of it
about one
all.
of them. Yeah.
And so the development of fighter tutor is so wild because it happens so quickly. It goes from like 0 to 1, and you also have like, we'll go ahead and mention the side character because she's integral to like the development of fighter tutor, which is Hua.
Yeah.
And she is truly one of the best BL girls. Like, I had forgotten how great she is, but she's actually pretty wonderful because she's best friends with Tudor. And when she eventually finds out that Fighter and Tudor, and then she's like dating Fighter, but like is actually the daughter of his dad's girlfriend. Which okay, side note, I just rewatched this because I don't remember any of the plot. I just remember the SaintZee of it all. And so when I rewatched this and was paying attention to like plot points, I was like, wait, what? Like the dad is being mean and forcing Fighter to get a like, I think because Hua was like crushing on Fighter.
Right.
And so like she wants to be with him and like this is how it's gonna happen.
Which is like kind of the initial conflict between Fighter and Tutor is because Tutor is like best friends with Hua, and Hua has like this whole time been crushing on Fighter, and he kind of like treats her not awesome.
Right.
And that's like low key their like initial, because you see them and they like don't like each other, and that's why they don't like each other.
Yep. So yeah, and like just the development of Fighter Tutor, it just goes from 0 to 100, and the character development of Fighter is solid. Like
Fighter ends up being amazing.
Yeah, he goes from someone that like you really, really hate and like are like, what the crap is this guy's deal?
And like, why is he so mean?
Stop being so mean.
Stop being so angry. He's a full Tarn. Or no, a full type.
Yeah.
He's a full type. Like,
totally.
Why are you just so angry all the time, bro? Bro.
Yeah. But you know, it's because he's going through
just
something.
going through something.
So, and then Tutor, oh my gosh, this character of Tutor, like, I really think that they just wrote Saint into the show because Tutor seems
I don't know. I feel like Tutor at times is like too aggressive. Like too aggressive to be Saint. I don't think Saint is that aggressive.
I would say Tutor's Tutor's characteristics are that like he's a go-getter and that like he's a hard worker and he like those kinds of things. And like he's actually, the funny thing about this is like he's like super solid in and of himself as a person, right? Like of course Fighter is playing with Tutor and like playing with his emotions and Tutor's kind of letting it happen at times, but also like Tutor never makes it about himself. He's never like, oh, what am I doing wrong? He's like, you're messing with me. Like he calls him out on it. Even if he's kind of like going along with it.
And he's not like embarrassed or shy ever. He's like, okay, you want to play chicken? Let's play chicken. Yeah. He's like, okay, you want to do this? Let's do this then.
Side note.
Which is like, that's like a boss move. 100.
It's wild. That scene where it finally escalates and like they're having their Tutor moment and
with the hand triggered.
Where Fighter and Tutor, where Fighter, I storied this recently because Fighter fully is like, at this point they've kissed like 2 or 3 times, which you find out from the girl that they've never kissed, and you're like,
of like, but it's like like punishment kisses. He like kisses him to like be mean to him.
To tease him. That's what he says. So in this moment, Tutor's like, Fighter, why are you doing this? Like you like boys, don't you? And Fighter fully goes, if you think you know me so well, prove it to me. Like, talk about consent. Like, it's consent being veiled as a challenge, but like fully consent.
And it's fully, he basically is like, fight me. But like kiss me.
The reverse psychology.
It's just so aggressive. It's just so aggressive. And that's why this show triggers me. And that's why I love the Friends so much. Is overall, I like the sweet and the soft and the like. That's what like. Not that I don't like the aggressive, because sometimes you're like, okay. But like, I don't know. It's just, it makes, I think it gives me anxiety when they're just so mean to each other. And it's like it could escalate in a bad way. It like makes me nervous.
Yeah. But yeah, the Fighter Tutor of it all is this.
But side note, Fighter becomes the softest.
Yeah.
He becomes so soft. Like, okay, truly, like we'll talk through the whole development of everything, but like the scene when he is like on his knees crying in the bedroom when he's like drunk and he's gone to him and Tutor is like, is this what you want? Like, are you happy now? And Fighter just like sinks to his knees, because in that moment I was like, oh no, this is going in a direction I don't like. Like I was really upset when I was watching that.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh God, like truly panicked. And then, I mean, just the way that Tutor handles it when he's like, is this what you want? Like, or no, I think he says, are you satisfied?
Yeah.
And like Fighter kind of stops because he realizes like, no, like this isn't how he wants or what he wants or, you know, and he just like, he sinks to his knees and he starts crying. Oh my God.
It's
Oh
so
my
good.
God, that scene. I mean, I was crying. Like that made me cry. I mean, I cry at a lot of things, but like I was like, I might cry right now thinking about this.
So to prevent you from crying, let's trigger you again and
Oh
go
God.
backwards a little from that scene because we got 2 whole episodes of a beach frolic. Y'all, we love a beach frolic.
I hate this beach
We
frolic.
get 2 whole episodes and not only a beach frolic, but we get spice.
I
Like,
hate this
next
beach frolic. I
level
hate this
spice.
beach frolic so much.
We get Tarn Type and Don't Say No all put together because you
Like,
got a bubble bath, you got
like
a
caffeinated, highly
pool,
caffeinated. This is
you
like
got
Tarn Type,
bed, you make me yearn
and
for
Don't
it.
Say No, but like after 5 coffees. Like that is what this is.
I love it
Truly.
so much.
I hate it because I am truly triggered because of You Make Me Yearn for It. You Make Me Yearn for It haunts me. It haunts me. And here's why. And I have talked about this before. And it's again only
Oh my
fitting
God,
that
you're
this
pulling
is
a full Miggy where your voice is going up like 10 octaves.
I mean, Miggy and I are spirit animals, like to each other. I feel like I'm also his spirit animal.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we left that conversation understanding.
Oh, 100%. Sneakerhead directioners, you and Miggy are besties.
I know. Anyways, You Make Me Yearn for It haunts me. And here's why. Again, there's a reason this is the last series Sunday of this season of the podcast is because like I'm going to need rest after this.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say something that will just trigger myself.
Meanwhile, I'm going to go watch more Fighter Tutor comps.
So Tudor, when he's ready, when the time is nigh,
He's prepared himself.
when the time is nigh, and Tudor has decided that it's on and poppin'. The thing that Saint the actor does with his eyes, he does this thing, and if you have watched this, you know what I'm talking about. He does this thing with his eyes where he literally, it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, okay, you know, in The Nightmare Before Christmas, when the mayor, like, his head spins around and he has a completely different face.
Yeah.
This is what happens when Saint, the actor, does this thing with his eyes. Honestly, like, his sexy face haunts me. It haunts me. I see it in dark corners at night.
Because Saint in and of himself is like the
so
sweetest,
soft,
most precious, softest
so pure.
boy. Like you want to protect him, you want to hold his hand and tuck him in at night,
and
like,
even Tudor,
like pooin level,
fully pooin,
pooin precious. That's like our new term, pooin precious,
pooin level precious.
100%
must protect Saint at all costs, and even Tudor like must protect at all costs. Like he's going through something, like he can't pay his rent, he's having like life troubles, like must protect. But when he does, when it's on and popping,
when it's sexy time,
I mean it horrifies me.
The second time,
it horrifies me because I'm like, no, go study. Go back to class. Go do whatever it is you need to do to not make that face.
Oh,
it haunts me at night. I see it in dark corners at night. I can't handle it. I don't like it. It's highly confusing for me. I'm triggered.
I will say, okay, this is why especially these 2 shows ruined BLs a little bit at the beginning for me because, or like gave me like an unrealistic standard of BLs because, okay, I am good friends with a lot of gay men and lived in San Francisco for a good 3 years. And so I know what that life is. And therefore, it makes sense when you're discovering your sexuality, when you're like figuring things out, like physicality is a huge part of it. Right. And so Tarn Type and Why Are You have that intimacy. Like the fact that they go to the beach in this show because not only has Tudor's sister in the sweetest way possible told Fighter that Tudor loves the beach and like hasn't been able to go and like he should like take him there because like that's his favorite place. But they're also going to like kind of figure out their relationship and like whether Fighter, who like fully likes Tudor but has like tried to think through these feelings and like his sexuality and whatever, so they're going there to like figure out their relationship, and the intimacy is a huge part of it. So that's why I just don't believe some of these shows where it's like we're
I'm not
figuring
saying
out our
it's not
sexuality.
realistic. What I'm saying is it haunts me.
Yeah, 100%.
And but that being said, the first beach frolic is one of the funniest behind the scenes
Yeah.
moments in this whole series, because when they're in this like bubble bath situation,
Mhm.
there's a line where Fighter says P Luck Tutor. So
Yeah.
like I love you. He's
Yeah,
saying I
yeah.
love you. And Z messes up and Z says P Luck Saint.
Which, y'all, if you watch the
And
behind the
this is why it's so
scenes,
good, is because Z has the biggest crush on Saint like of all time ever.
like actor crush,
Yeah.
fully, which is like the most endearing thing you've ever experienced in your entire life, which is probably why like the SaintZee ship didn't really hit for me as well as Mugolf, obviously. And so, but yeah, the interviews where like Z is fully crushing on Saint even
Z
after
is
they've
just
shot
like a
the
fan
film
of
or
Saint.
the
Like, right,
series.
like Z at this point has like
Yeah.
done 2 beach scenes
Yeah.
that are both of equal level spiciness
Yeah.
with this boy, plus all the like in between stuff that
Yeah.
happens. And he's still such a fan. Like at this point, Saint is not just like a normal person to him. He's still a fan of Saint. And it's just so endearing because it's like, I feel that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
it's so
It's
good.
so precious. It's so endearing. But yeah, that's one of my favorite behind the scenes, like I guess they don't call them bloopers. What do they call them? Just like, I don't know.
There's behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Where it's that clip and he's like, "Oh wait, that's not your name." Like
Also,
it's
the thing
really
that I love
funny.
about this show, rewatching it, is I realized how many like how it set the scene for so many BLs that we've watched over the last 2 like year and a half, I guess. How it really set the stage. You got the underwater kiss. This was like the first underwater
Mhm.
kiss that I'm aware of that we got. You know, the beach frolic, we got the rooftop, the first kiss on the rooftop situation. Like there's
Can we
so
talk
many.
about how Pond Poo and have an underwater? Okay, no, that's not about this.
No,
But
no, no.
like this GMMTV 2022 gonna be wild, y'all.
So this show really like, as spicy as it is and as
Did it
triggering for
pave the way, Beth
it,
Ann?
it paved. Why are you paved the way for BLs? What Tarn Type did for, and what Mugolf did for ships, why are you did for BLs?
It really brought so many. Okay, what it did do, there's so many, all of the like spice tropes
Yeah,
come from Why Are You?
yeah,
Like they do.
totally.
Because okay, let's skip ahead all the way. We'll rewind a little bit, but like let's
Okay.
fast forward to our last beach frolic, our ending beach frolic.
Yes.
The spicy scene in that
It's only
one.
appropriate that they reunite at the beach.
Right. So the spicy scene in that one, I mean the necklaces. That's all I have to say. And where do we see this reappear? We see it in 2021's most influential BL of the year, Don't Say No.
Yep.
So,
It's so good. It's so good. Okay, let's take a break from the fighter tutor of it all to Saifah Zahn.
Saizon.
Saizon. Okay, here's the thing. I wasn't fully into this whole storyline, these 2 characters. The actors, I like, they were just a miss for me because that's just like how, you have the people that you like. I will say Tommy in the last year has had a glow
There,
up and
I
it's
am
overwhelming.
shocked because when I watched Why Are You, yeah, I didn't love them together.
No.
Like, I didn't love them as Jimmy Tommy. I liked their storyline because it was funny, and I
Yeah.
really liked the comedy of it all.
It definitely brought some brevity to it.
I think you need comedy in order to like make it
Yeah.
through these shows, because if
Totally.
it was all the fighter and tutor of it all, it would be too much.
Yeah.
You need that comedy, and that's what they bring, but in like a very sweet, endearing way. So I liked their storyline. I really like my favorite moment is the like when they've like slept in the same bed but not actually done anything and there's
Yeah.
like a morning situation and just
Yes.
like the way that they act this, it's like slapstick comedy and it's
So
so
good.
funny.
I will say Tommy and Jimmy are superb actors because they acted the crap out of the short time that they got,
Yeah.
which I appreciated. Plus, side note, speaking of spice, these boys and their last kiss, holy cow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think they
like
were
oh
like
my
I
it's
think they were
like
like, "Hey,
really
fighter tutor, we see you and we see your spice, and we got like 30 seconds to be memorable. We're gonna stick our
I
tongue
think
down each
it's
other's
one of the
throat."
I think it's one of the best kisses in BL because it's like the most intimate kiss in BL, I
Yeah,
would say. I don't know, like it's a really interesting I think the reason it's so good is like you're almost not expecting it.
totally.
It like kind of comes out of nowhere and you're like,
Right, because 'cause they're like
"What?"
the comic relief throughout the show.
Yeah, so it kind of like
Yeah.
weirdly that's what adds dimension to them.
Now it makes me wanna go rewatch the special. I think I might do that next.
Yeah, like I don't know, they're so interesting, but yeah, I'm super into Tommy. I like Jimmy Tommy together. I've seen a lot of their like out of series stuff that they like their couple work.
Yeah,
They're really good together. They're
they
super
are.
cute.
They are.
And I just am like, I'm a sucker for Tommy. I'm so into Tommy. Also,
Yeah.
like, y'all know, like, listen, Frank is enlisted now, and I'm really worried about him. Like, he's like a poo
Even
and
though
like
he's
must
on socials
protect.
24/7.
Okay, but must protect. And so I'm like really, really concerned about Frank and just the fact that Tommy also had to enlist and
Yeah,
like
he made it
Tommy was
through.
okay. No, this sounds so stupid, but it makes me feel better because like, okay, it's
Oh,
not, it's
I love
not like,
it.
it's a different kind of enlistment is what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will
yeah.
say. Like, we don't
Totally.
need to get into it, but like, I'm highly worried. And so Tommy and so what's interesting is like, Tommy is like a late in life actor. Like,
It's true. I know that is wild. Yeah. So their side story is really good, and actually, like, they have a nice little story arc. I really love that they're all reunited at the beach, doing their whole beach frolic together.
I love the beach when they're actually frolicking, not during the spice, but like when they're
Yeah.
literally just like running and
Yeah.
playing on the beach, like they coined the term beach frolic. One hundo
100%.
p.
100%. Uh, you also get, like, that height difference that the BL fandom
And
loves.
it's like a wild height
It
difference. It's
is.
not like
'Cause
it
when they're
is more
standing up
intense than
kissing
Joffrey's.
yeah, when they're standing up kissing, you're like, "Oh my god, poor Tommy is gonna get a crick in his neck."
It's
It is
more
sad.
intense than Joffrey's for
Yeah.
sure. Which I think is is like probably only second to Tommy Jimmy in terms of like the
Yeah.
difference. It's
Yeah, yeah.
wild.
Okay, so back to the fighter tutor of it all. The ending of the show is fascinating to me because okay, so, you know, Fighter's dad has pulled this whole Tanhan's
I
dad,
hate Fighter's dad.
where
I hate him so much.
he's like, "You have to be in love with your stepsister because you have to give me the wife and kids,"
Right,
and
because of, like, for business interests
but
or
he goes
whatever.
to tutor to be like, "Stay away from my son." He's like, I know my son. I know he's not happy. I know this isn't really him." And it's like, "Hey, bro, clearly you
Like
don't
yeah.
because you don't know that Fighter has been the one pursuing tutor." And so then
No
Sweet
redemption for his dad.
no
None.
redemption. So Sweet Tutor, you know, pulls a 180 and is like, "Okay, I gotta get out of this with Fighter." I feel like
And
at
this
this
is what leads to that, like, crying
yes,
scene.
yes.
Yeah.
The way that they break up, I cried the second time too, where it's like that's especially because they use that line where he's like, "You know how you said you wouldn't let go of my hand, and I can't let go of yours." He was like, "I need you to let go of me." Anytime any show brings back a moment from the love confession, like the moment where they've like hit the ultimate
Yeah, yeah.
thing and they've like confessed their love and they're like securing their future. Anytime a show then brings that to the breakup and is like, "I have to walk away from you." It's it's incredible. Even if it's a trope, like it gets me every time. I love it so much. And then we have the ultimate trope of all tropes. The one of the boys gets sick and he needs to be taken care of. And truly one of the best cuddle scenes of all
Yeah.
time.
Oh
Speaking of
yeah,
like
it's great.
great hugs, these boys can kiss, but they can also hug and cuddle, which
I don't know. I still think Kyo and Royce from Things are. I think Kyo is the best hugger in BL. I
yeah,
maintain.
I would
Maintain
say
that.
that too. But the hug that we get during the sickness is it's just sweet.
It is sweet.
Also, if you've broken up with somebody, maybe take off the necklace that has their name on it
Mm-mm.
to like be more convincing. Like I know he gives it back to him after their little fight, after their little confrontation where Tudor, where Fighter's crying. But like still. Also, uh, again, I think this is what got me. It was the T earring and the Fighter necklace. It just
Okay,
like
High School
it
Musical.
speaks to my High School Musical heart. Like that whole situation. I was like, I honestly considered getting that T for Troy necklace that Gabrielle gets in High School Musical 2. Because I just love it. It's so good. And the
T
show
for Troy.
T for Troy. And this show just ends so well. I will say, like, you get the tropes, you get the spice, but you also get like a pretty solid storyline. I also really loved the moment with Hua when she's found out that Fighter and Tudor are together. And the resolution that you get, I texted you because I was like, "Oh yeah, I forget that they give Hua a boy like
Yeah.
before Fighter Tudor get together," which I love, and like she fully embraces that, which I really really love. And they have a sweet little side situation. But then when she's confronting Fighter Tudor about their relationship, she's more concerned because her best friend Tudor hasn't been
Right.
honest with her. And I was like, yes, girl, like, yes. And then she like pulls him away and she was like, I want to go eat dinner with just Tudor and like makes Fighter go away. And that's what we want to see in the girls.
Yeah.
So,
Another just like little side bit that I like is the cafe that Tudor works at. So this cafe is adorable, and the cafe owner, who is played by Rusa, it's not in the guide. I don't remember his last name off the top of my head, but he's super cool and
yeah.
like such a cute actor. Like he plays that role really, really well. He himself is just like a really cool person,
Yeah.
and I love the little outfits and like it kind of just like ruined my perception of Thai cafes because like so
Oh, yeah.
I've been to Korea. It was like one of my last trips before like COVID happened.
Yeah.
And like cafes in Korea, even though they're all themed, they kind of have like a formula to them. And so when I watched this, one of my first Thai BLs and the first Thai BL that like depicted a cafe, in my brain I was like, oh my god, this is what Thai cafes are like.
Yeah.
Like they all wear little outfits and there's like a little and then I found out like no, like don't be crazy person, Ayla, like that's on me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was so stoked because I do truly love the little outfits. The little outfits I think are my favorite part. I mean, Saint in the little hat with like the I mean, come on.
It was very cute.
Come on.
Yeah. His name is James Rusamika Fagerland.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
I like him.
He's fun. Also, he plays like a pretty important role because he's like the voice of reason in a couple of different moments for
Well, he also
Tudor.
protects Tudor from
Right, the dad.
the dad.
And
Yeah,
like
when
other creepy guys
and like
in that.
other like like bully creep people, just like,
Yeah,
like shady people, sus people.
totally.
But when he fully protects him from the dad, like it's such a nice moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's such like okay, so one thing that I like about this show is that like of the main characters, because this has the potential to be like a Tarn type with Fighter, the like up and gay, right? With
Yeah,
like type. This has and none of the main characters are like that. Like
no,
that is not the conflict.
right.
And I do like that. I do appreciate that. But I think that like it's really nice to just see this again. Another just like solid Thai BL trope is how good all the friends are. And in this show, Every friend is solid gold,
Yeah.
and it's
And there's
great.
a lot of them. I will say the introduction of MaxNat through the show was wild because I didn't realize like how 0 to 100 they go, where this like sweet little gnat playing soccer is like the belle of the ball, and Max puts his eyes on him and like walks him home,
And it's
and
like a whole
and
thing.
then Max invites him in, and it's like a done deal. So I'm
It's
like,
like a
bro,
whole thing. It's wild.
wild.
Yeah, Nat is in this. This is the first time I saw Nat, and I really like Nat, and I
Yeah, it's
remembered
his first
him.
thing. Yeah,
And
because he was
this is the first
17.
time I saw Poppy, and I love Poppy.
I
Like
know.
I love
I
Poppy.
can't believe I like miss Poppy
I
because
can't
he
believe
was
you don't
so
remember
loud. He was
Poppy.
so loud. Also,
Yeah.
his brother Park is in this, right?
I no thoughts head empty Poppy only.
We have so many side couples in this. Like
I
fully, it's wild.
love Poppy, and I am just so excited that Poppy is in all the things
All the
coming
things.
out soon because yeah, for this to be one of my first BLs, like Poppy is one of the boys that like stuck with me.
Which is this is why I love our dynamic because we have different focuses.
Yeah.
Fully. Like we
I
both
mean, I really like off jump pole, so like obviously I was gonna like Poppy in this. Like
It's true. It's true. Okay. I think
what do
overall,
you
like
think? Tell me.
this show, this show is an interesting start to BLs for me because again, like you got it was the height of the like maybe second generation of BLs and the BLs like outside of GMMTV, right? Like the big ones that started the BL kind of stuff were all came from GMMTV. You had Sodus, you had Together, you had all that kind of stuff. And so I think it also started the like the Dumundi of it all. Like Dumundi is gonna have some like really good BLs next year, which I'm
Yeah.
like really looking forward to. And the
Well,
like
and these Domundi boys are like killing it. For
yeah,
I mean, if you consider just like the sort of like popularity of the shows, which like aside from Why Are You, in terms of just like general like it these shows were not togethers, for example, right? Like
right.
they weren't togethers, they weren't soduses, they weren't like right, like
Yeah.
none of that. Although they were like good, super quality, right? Like
Mhm,
it's just to say that like attention and focus pulling,
mhm.
even with all of that, these two Mundy boys are like wildly popular.
Yeah.
And also, like Joe Mundy, we're actually have a whole episode about this studio run throughs that you can listen to. But like Joe Mundy is just a really interesting studio, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because it was started by like Joss
Joss.
and Luke, maybe?
Was Luke involved?
He
I
was.
don't know. We have a whole episode about this. You can go listen to it. We talk about it. But
It's wild.
it's Joe Mundy is a really interesting studio.
I'm very
Yeah.
confused by them. Hey, Joe
Yeah.
Monday, explain yourself.
Hey, Joe Mundy, if you're listening. This is
Yeah.
like when we're like, hey, GMMTV.
Hey, the Oscars, if you're
Yeah.
listening.
First, I maintain.
So ridiculous.
Hey,
Oh,
world, summer days.
oh, seriously. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening to Series Sundays this season. It truly has been fun. I can't wait to do more of these. I'm sure we'll do throwbacks for like the next season because again, like Why Are You and Quarant Things, those were all late 2020, early 2020.
Yeah, we're
So,
gonna we'll keep doing throwbacks, but
yeah.
that is to also say we've got so much coming out in 2022. So these are about to get wild, particularly if you have seen this GMMTV 2022 lineup, this Star Hunter lineup, all the lineups. Love Mechanics is coming out. Their series Sunday is gonna get buck wild.
Yeah, I have maybe made a suggestion to my demise that I'm going to come up with like a premiere calendar for each month and I think I will do it, and when I do it,
I will do it.
I think I'll just cry because I'll be like, "Oh my god, there's so many shows." And I don't need a social life. If I have BL boys, like, what do you need friends for? I'll be living with you at that point. Spoiler
True.
alert.
Spoiler, don't spoil it. There's so much happening in season 2. So
Listen,
that
if
being
people have
said,
made it this far, they deserve to be to get the inside information because they are loyal listeners.
season 2, we will be doing off-season content. Like, you guys can all watch the making of. It's gonna be really interesting and fun.
Really interesting.
Anyways, for the last time in season 1 on Series Sunday, this has been Let's Talk BL. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and keep up with all things Let's Talk BL at Let's Talk BL. We'll see you next season.